What's up, YouTube? So today I've got a glute and hamstring workout for you, and I decided to do this video because I realized a lot of my videos are kind of like more structured towards like guys, I guess, and like people that are have a little bit of experience lifting or have been lifting for a while. Um, so I decided to make this video as kind of like a kind of introduction, or sort of like just a workout that probably more girls would be interested in doing. I had a conversation with a few of my friends, and they said that they wanted a workout that would uh, work the back part of their legs and their glutes. So I decided, why not? I can make a video like that. So um, the first clip was just a mobility warm up that I do. Um, Keep in mind that I would also probably do like 5 to 10 minutes on a bike or a treadmill with some intervals. So I'd probably do like 2 minutes of steady of a steady pace, a steady interval, and then do 20 seconds of high intensity or a faster pace, anyways, just to get the heart rate going and the blood flowing. So, the first exercise I did was the deadlift, and this you want to start off with really light weight when you're first doing this exercise, so that you get the form down. Because if you get the form down, the strength will come a heck of a lot easier than if you have really bad form in this exercise. So uh, I do, I don't know how many sets, but you want to do around three working sets. This is more of like a power move. So you'll build strength with this move. And it's really good to build up the hamstrings and the glutes because uh, you're using a lot of muscles in this exercise, so you can use a lot of weight, which more weight um, causes more stress on the muscles, and more stress on the muscles will mean that they grow bigger or they tone faster, anyways. So here I am. This is just my progression up to my three working sets, and I believe my first working set is uh, at 275, and then I think I bumped up to 315. Or I'm sorry, my first working set was 315, and then I did 335, and then I did my last set was, excuse me, 345, and I went into that set shooting for 4 reps, but I had my dad with me, and he wanted to go motivate me. So I got to 4, and I knew I definitely had a few more in me. So then I did 6, and then I got to 6, and he said, "Come on, 2 more." So I did 2 more, and then he said 1 more, and I got 1 more, and I knew I had at least another one to get to 10. And then once I got to 10, I was like, you know what? Why not? And I did 11, and I was on the way down from 11. I thought, okay, should I go for 12? But then uh, when I hit the ground on the 11th one, I was like, ooh, if I try 12, it's going to look like a jackhammer. So I decided to stop. But moving on to the next exercise, I did lunges, and I did these with kind of like a pulse rep. So I just did each leg, and I did each leg separate, sorry, and 8 reps per leg. And this is really to focus on the hamstring and the glute. I'm coming down, and then at the bottom, I'm using my glute and my hamstring to bring me and the weight back up. And this would You can kind of cater what you want to hit with a lunge by where you place your feet. If you place your feet wide, like spread apart, like I'm showing here, it focuses more on the glutes and the hamstring. But if I was to probably cut this stance in half, it would focus a lot more on the quads. So then, a really good exercise for the glutes and the hams is the goblet squat. And for this, you really want to keep your knees um, right above your toes or behind your toes. And to do this, to start off, I would recommend doing these facing a wall. That way, you stay pretty much straight up and down, and you know your knees aren't going past your toes too far. And as you can see, I'm really focusing on the hamstrings in this exercise. And when I get to the top, I'm really squeezing the glutes. And I'm not coming all the way up just to keep tension on the muscles. And I feel like I get a better glute pump that way. And this is just another angle to show you that I only go down as far as my elbows touching my legs allows me. And this is to minimize the stress on my knees. Normally, I would do goblet squats on my quad day, and I'd usually have my knee sleeves on, but I decided to stay a little lighter and do them on my hamstring day today. Then moving on to stiff leg deadlift, and this is also a very good exercise to build up the hamstrings and the glutes because that is literally all you're using for this exercise. It's basically a toe touch, but what you are really focusing on doing is putting your hips back. So you're kind of just sticking your butt out, and that gets a really good stretch in the glutes right away. And then as you come down, you're further stretching the glutes, and you're also stretching your hamstrings. And for that, you should only go down as far as getting a good stretch in the hamstrings, and then come up about 3/4 of the way, and then go back down. And then moving on to probably like the best mass builder for hamstrings is probably the hamstring curl. And for this, I stuck with a little bit lighter weight than what I normally do. And I went for higher reps. And really good cue to use during this exercise is to keep your hips into the pad. You don't want your butt to come up off the pad because then you're causing a lot of stress on your back and you're really taking off stress from your hamstrings, which is what you want to be working. So you should try and keep your hips as much into the pad as you can for that exercise. And then I did some good mornings, and for this, it's very crucial to stay with a manageable weight and to do these very controlled and slow. Uh, so for these, I usually don't go more than 95 pounds, but I usually stick with high reps, and it's basically like the opposite of a stiff leg deadlift, I'd say, but it's still working the same muscles. So again, for this exercise, you really want to push your hips back and away from you, or like sticking out your butt. But you also want to keep your um, your upper back tight, like in a squat, and then um, also you don't want to let your lower back round. So see how my lower back is nice and flat as I come down. You don't want that to be rounded, otherwise you could cause some serious damage to your spine. But yeah, so this was my last exercise for this workout. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.